Greetings, everybody. Right back at you here at Railroad Nail Boxing Talk. And like we say here at Railroad Nail Boxing Talk, we don't just praise fighters with pretty records. We praise all fighters who get in the ring and fight hard. You could be 42-1, 38-7, or 11-10. If you're out there knocking sweat off somebody's head, making the crowd want to come see you again, then your light will shine here at Railroad Nail Boxing Talk. What's up, boxing fans? Foster versus Hernandez. Let's talk about it. Now, with all the hype behind Fury and Ngannou, this was a fight you didn't want to miss. And this is the fight I watched. I got to give praise to both of these guys, man. I mean, listen, I wish both of these guys could win, but we had to have one winner. This is what boxing is about. Technique, skill, uppercuts, jabs, hooks, hard, will, lasting to the end, not wanting the fight to stop. When the ref had to step in before you and you still want to keep going thinking you can win. It was all that. Let's talk about it. So yeah, I predicted Foster to win, but I really didn't know because Hernandez got a lot of knockouts. Now I can't tell you about a lot of his fights. I just heard the rep and I seen the record. And I realized that this guy is a pretty good fighter. Now I seen Foster beat Valenzuela, and I'm thinking, okay, he got a lot of skills. He ain't got as much power, but he got skill. And in this fight, I can say that if Foster would have had a little bit more power, I think Hernandez would have been hurt a little early because his body was open the whole fight. Old Foster needed a left hook to the body real bad. But all in all, I can't complain about none of this. I just want to say how glad I am to see a real fight. Something that ain't sought up or planned or constructed for one guy to win. This was a good fight. The Zone did their thing tonight. I like this fight. I just want to say I needed a rush for a good fight like this one, to end just like this one. And I want to give us probably one of the best fights I've seen this year. This got to be one of the best fights I've seen this year. As far as even competition, you don't know who's going to win halfway through the fight. You still don't know. And they still showing high levels of talent, will, skill, and unloading their whole arsenal. Both guys, This was a hell of a fight. If y'all ain't seen it, fans, y'all need to see it. Now, it started off with Foster using his jab. I mean, he pretty much jabbed the move for about the first 3 or 4 rounds, and Hernandez had the pressure. Now, to me, Foster looked sharper. He was getting the more sharper punches, and Hernandez was putting on the pressure. But now, I gotta say this. The commentators looked like they was trying to get Hernandez to fight from the beginning. I mean, whoever was commentating, let them tell it Foster wasn't even in the fight by the 4th round. I didn't see that. But luckily, I know how to block all them commentators out because they always have biased decisions. I don't know how they all agreed that Foster was behind by the 4th round. I don't know. But all in all, let's leave that behind. I want to applaud both of these guys. This was a hell of a fight. This fight was a hell of a fight. I mean, I wish both of these guys could have won because of the heart they put in and how they had the crowd on their feet. But of course, we had to have one winner, and that was Foster. He ended up stopping Hernandez in the 12th round, I think, with something like 30 seconds left. Hernandez went down twice in the 12th. He got back up. He wanted the last. But he was taking some clean shots, and, you never know which shot is the shot that's going to make you kind of lose your mind or have some screws loose because the shots was kind of coming clean. And you got to remember, at one point, Hernandez turned his back to Foster like he wanted to quit, but he had a second thought and came back. And when he came back, he got a burst of energy to put Foster back on the ropes and hit him with a array of punches and combinations. I mean, it was exciting because Foster came right back. He ended up hurting Hernandez. And some people say the stoppage wasn't a good stoppage. Now, I can't say that Foster got a lot of power to make him like that, but with accumulation in time and the way he was tied and his neck was loose, I would say that it was a pretty good stoppage. I mean, I hate to see it stopped at the last minute with the heart he put in and to get up off the ground twice. But you don't want to see him getting up from being asleep, and that's what I think was about to happen. He fought. You got to give him credit. And Foster fought too because he was under a lot of pressure. I mean, he had to be sharp. In the middle of the rounds is where Hernandez had most of his success because his pressure was paying dues. I seen him getting a lot of clean shots in the middle round. He was hitting Foster in the body a lot. He was hitting him with a good straight jab. He was hitting him with pretty much everything in his arsenal because he threw a lot of punches. And he threw a lot of punches from a lot of different angles. And as good as Foster's defense was, he couldn't block all of them. And he couldn't throw some back. He couldn't throw a lot of punches back at certain times because Hernandez was flooding him with a lot of punches. But eventually Hernandez wore down around about the 7th, 8th round. And Foster came on. He got sharp. He started putting on the pressure and started retreating. And I saw Hernandez's mouth open. When I saw his mouth open and he started retreating, I think Foster saw it too. And Foster attacked and eventually got the stoppage. But all in all, this was a fight that hardcore fight fans like. I mean, I think the 10th, 11th, and 12th rounds, classical round. Just from, I know back in the days we used to see fights like this a lot. But fights like this so far and few nowadays that you got to give these guys praise. And like I said, I'm hoping it's not 2 years before we see these guys again. Because it seems like to me, every time somebody get out and put on a performance like this, they be gone so long that we forget about it. And I don't want to take this time out to bash promotion because I've been doing a lot of that lately, and rightfully so. I just want to take time out to applaud these fighters and to send shots out to this slugfest. It didn't start as a slugfest, though. It started as a technical skill against pressure. And that's what it was for about 6 or 7 rounds. And then it turned the skill guy, turned the pressure on the pressure guy. So yeah, it was a good fight. And Foster came out with the win. It was stopped in the 12th round with seconds left. And he was victor, and the rightful victor. And that's how we saw it here at Railroad Nail Boxing Talk. And I don't want to keep it too long because you don't know me that well, but you will. And like we say here at Railroad Nail Boxing Talk, we don't just praise fighters with pretty records. We praise all fighters who get in the ring and fight hard. You could be 41-9, 23-8, or 37-10. If you're out there knocking sweat off somebody's head, making the crowd want to come see you again, then your light will shine here at Railroad Nail Boxing Talk.